Boom. Right, so sometimes things don't work out like initially planned, and that's a-okay. Just means we gotta find another way or try again. Hello everyone, and welcome to Arcadia SMP. As you can see, I've broken ground at my base place. Or well, the portal area that leads to my base place. I've decided that I'm starting my base off with an entrance worthy of the ancient elves who came before my mushroom-obsessed self. But to build that beautiful elven passageway, I think the little tunnel I've dug out here needs to be a touch bigger, like this. And I think that's a goodly place to start today's time-lapse. After digging out my tunnel, I got started on the arches. Since this tunnel is going to be more the traditional elf-style build you're all thinking of, I went with tall arches all the way down the tunnel. As this is a ruin, however, I made sure to leave out a few pieces here and there. But since they're sheltered under the mountain, I thought it would be safe to keep in most of the pretty green glass. Once the supporting arches were in, I started work on the walls of the tunnel, carving out these smaller arches where I'll be putting in murals to make my build more than just a tunnel. It'll be a work of art. And a nice way for me to sneak in some lore. Oops. But before I go putting those details in, I wanted to texture and clean up the tunnel a bit more. Since I want most of the attention to be focused on the murals, I went for a boring mix of stone and stone bricks. For the flooring, I went a little more into detail. I included a sort of stream that's cut its way through the stone over time and passes from one end of the tunnel to the next, with a small pool in the center. Along the way, I also started texturing the floor, first with stone and stone bricks, but eventually also including moss, mossy bricks, and cobblestone. With the texturing done, I started working on the murals, first by filling in the backgrounds and then getting to the good part. The first mural I worked on features blackstone and obsidian to create a frame with glazed purple terracotta and crying obsidian inside. A nether tunnel, to symbolize where this tunnel leads. I duplicated this design across the hall from it and moved on. The next mural is a shape that'll be reappearing in the ancient elven builds a lot. This time I'm using yellow glazed terracotta, gold blocks, raw gold, and ochre frog lights to create a shining star with wide-reaching rays of light. This mural is repeated a couple times down the tunnel. Another design that will be reappearing a lot is the third mural I worked on. I started with a canvas of skulk and included swirling arms of prismarine and oxidized copper spiraling out from a glowing sea lantern core. I placed one of these spirals across from each of the star murals. The fourth design is a miniature elven archway made of stone bricks. It's filled with snow, white powdered concrete, calcite, and pearlescent frog lights, and surrounded by a wilderness of regular and glazed green terracotta, moss, and lime terracotta under a dark sky. The last set of murals take over the middle section of the tunnel and are a bit larger than the others. Using soul sand, I create the trunk and branches of a large tree, and after using a mixture of green blocks for the ground and compressed ice for the sky, I set about creating foliage out of pink concrete powder, pink glazed terracotta, and cherry blossom leaves. To give the tree a certain magical feel, I used hidden pearlescent frog lights to give it a glow. Because of course I'm building magical pink trees this season, who do you think I am? And once I was done with the matching mural, I set about building magical pink trees. Using dark oak logs for the trunk and fences for the branches, I made the framework for the trees before adding a ton of pink leaves and a handful of flowering azalea and oak leaves. And with the last of the leaves placed on the last pink tree in the tunnel, I felt it was safe to say that the tunnel was done. And finally, we have a really cool entrance to my base. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think this might be one of the prettiest ruins I've ever built. And if you know anything about my channel, it's that I build a lot of ruins. So, if you like watching someone build broken down places, consider subscribing! Woo, shameless plug. So this is my Elven tunnel. It definitely needs a more impressive name than that though. Maybe if y'all have one, leave a comment. If we start walking down the tunnel, we see the first set of murals, a spiral and a star. And like I said in the time-lapse, these are everywhere in my ancient elf builds. I see them as like visual representations of how the elves saw themselves, sort of celestial or godlike, like shining lights. They believe themselves to be higher powers than everyone else, I guess. Next up, we have the gate or arch murals, and this sort of functions like a sign. It literally tells you where the tunnel is going, towards the Elven civilization, like from sort of a come under our arches and into our light, we'll keep you safe from this scary dark outside world. After another set of star and spiral murals, reversed from the last set because why not, we have the central big tree murals. I need a better name than that. And these murals sort of tell you which Elven civilization is, so maybe these elves represent themselves with these magical cherry blossom trees, while maybe another group uses another object or location, like maybe a river or a mountain range or a specific structure in their city. I don't know. All I know for sure is that the elves here would have been pretty well known for their tree, but we'll be getting to that later in the season because spoilers. Now, once we get past the next spiral and star set and admire the cute little waterfall that's flowing down from a nearby cave, we get to see one of my favorite features of the tunnel. When the sun rises, it lines up really nicely with the other end of the tunnel, and it's just so pretty. And it really looks like the gate mural, and I love that so much. Getting back on track, we have the nether portal murals, which basically it has the same purpose as the gate mural, but from the other side. So while the gate mural tells you that the tunnel leads to the elves, this mural tells you that the tunnel leads you to the nether. And I just like that idea for like how they navigate. And to cap off this end of the tunnel, we have one more set of the star and spiral murals before we're out into the daylight once again. Standing on my little viewing platform here, we can get a nice look at the tunnel from this side, and yeah. I hope the tunnel is a nice enough intro to what I guess is my second build style this season. We have the starter stump and the tree shop on one hand and these ancient elven ruins on the other. And I'm gonna be sort of fusing them together into what I'm hoping will be a pretty cool area by the time we're done. And yeah, I guess there's a fair amount of lore that I'm gonna have to go through to explain why that is, but I know, lore on my channel, what? For now though, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment if you'd like, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and in case you need to hear it, you're doing an amazing job, and I'm so proud of you. Okay.